hand from the grave. The rain had only just stopped when Thomas reached the cemetery, leaving the ground dark and breathing, as though the earth itself had lungs. Mud clung to his boots with a quiet insistence, reluctant to let him go.
Out.
He welcomed the weight. It reminded him he was still here, still solid, while everything else he loved had learned how to vanish. His wife's grave lay near the yew trees, the soil still raw, too new, too eager to remember the shape of her coffin. The headstone had not yet been placed. Only a wooden marker stood there, pale and temporary, like a promise the ground did not intend to keep. Thomas knelt, pressing his palm to the damp earth. It smelled of iron and rot and rainwater, ancient and intimate. He closed his eyes, whispering her name, letting it sink downward, hoping it might reach her wherever silence had taken her. That was when the soil moved. Not a settling, but the slow sigh of earth returning to rest. This was sharp, violent. The ground split with a wet sound, and something pale thrust upward through the mud. A hand. Thomas recoiled, heart detonating in his chest. Fingers, grayed, caked with soil, nails broken and black, clawed blindly at the air, shaking with effort. The wrist followed, skin stretched tight as parchment, veins dark as ink beneath it. "No," he breathed. "No, no." The hand curled, grasping at nothing, then stilled as though listening. Slowly, impossibly, it turned toward him. The fingers closed around his sleeve. The touch was cold, not corpse cold, but deeper, older, as though it carried the chill of something that had never known warmth at all. Thomas tried to pull away, but the grip tightened with desperate strength. "Help me," a voice rasped, not aloud, but inside his skull. Fractured, strained, terrified. "Please, I'm still here." He screamed then, the sound tearing free of him, but the cemetery swallowed it whole. The trees did not stir. With shaking hands, Thomas grabbed a nearby spade. He told himself it had to be grief, his mind unraveling under the weight of loss. But the hand did not fade when he blinked. It trembled harder, the fingers digging into his coat as though afraid he might disappear. He began to dig. Each shovelful peeled back layers of soaked soil, the grave yielding with obscene ease. The deeper he went, the stronger the presence became. The air thickened, pressing against his ears. Whispers rose around him, low, overlapping, unfinished. "Don't leave. We were never meant to stay." They said it was mercy. The hand was attached to an arm, the arm to a body not yet claimed by decay. A man lay beneath the soil, chest shuddering with shallow, panicked breaths, eyes wide and shining with terror. His mouth opened and closed like a drowning thing. Thomas dragged him free, collapsing beside the grave as the man convulsed, coughing mud and rainwater. When at last he could speak, his words came out in sobbing fragments. "They buried me," he gasped. "Not dead, never dead," they said. "I knew too much." Thomas stared at him, horror tightening his throat. "Whew!" The man laughed, a broken, hysterical sound. Everyone. Sirens cut through the night not long after. The man was taken away, wrapped in blankets, trembling but alive. The police asked questions. Thomas answered none of them. He stood by the open grave, staring into its dark mouth, feeling watched. They filled the hole before dawn. But the whispers did not stop. Over the following nights, Thomas returned. He tried not to. He failed. Each time he heard them, voices seeping up from beneath the soil, clawing at his thoughts. Some begged, some wept. Some spoke calmly, resigned to the dark. He began to dig again. It's not his wife's grave. Others, he found a woman with her lips sewn shut. A boy whose hands were bound behind his back with wire. An old man who clutched a ledger to his chest, its pages swollen with secrets that had cost him breath. Each one had been buried not by accident but by design. They said the truth would rot the world. One whispered as Thomas pulled her free. They said silence was kinder. Word spread. Quietly, carefully, the missing began to return, blinking in disbelief beneath the open sky. Officials denied everything. Graves were sealed faster. Guards were posted. Still the hands came. They reached through flower beds, through fresh concrete, through floors and walls and dreams. The earth could no longer hold what had been forced into it. One night, as Thomas stood alone beside the yew trees, the ground shifted again. A hand emerged, familiar, slender, unmistakable. His wife's. The soil parted with tender slowness, as though afraid to hurt her. Her fingers brushed his cheek, warm and trembling. "Thomas," she whispered, "I was never meant to sleep." He fell to his knees, sobbing, pressing his forehead to the ground as more hands began to rise around them, dozens, hundreds, reaching not in terror now but in certainty. The secrets had waited long enough, and the dead were done being buried.